Carter has received a standing ovation that has brought tears to his eyes.
Vincent Lamar Carter back at the Air Canada Centre. I did not expect to see what I saw. I did not expect the fans to react that way. Greivis, you were there. First off, your initial reaction once the standing ovation happened and you saw that single tear stream from Vince's face.
I know, that was unbelievable. You know, this guy has such a big input in our game and nowadays in our league. I mean, he was an idol. I grew up watching him. You know, I used to tell my mother to buy me and my dad buy me a jersey of Vince.
I remember KD said his favorite player was Vince growing up.
He was at the equipment. We had equipment thing out in the back, and I went to get my tickets for the game, and he was there talking to Kevin. And when I saw it, I was like, yo, I gotta take a picture with you before the craziness tonight. So I'm a fan. I'm a fan of his. So to me, you know, I don't know how the whole thing went down here, but I'll tell you this: people in Toronto should be thankful that he really put Toronto in the map.
I'm thankful he was there because I have a job now. People are watching basketball now because he was here.
Ain't no question. He put Toronto in the map.
Great.
I mean, you're a young fan.
Yeah, I've been a Vince Carter fan my whole life, and I knew I was gonna be 6'6", 6'7".
But you could bounce
I always wanted to jump like him, so I always work hard, try to jump like him. But
like now, Dan, for you, I mean, you've been around for so long, but I want to ask you a very specific question. No, because you've been around the franchise. You've had so many interactions with this guy, but here's the real question I want to ask you. Were you cool with the tribute happening on the 20th anniversary, or would you have waited, like some people have said, maybe till after he's retired? Because, you know, there are a few people who were still sore over what.
Well, I mean, I respect that that's what the organization chose to do. They wanted to honor him in this situation. It is the 20th anniversary, and there is a lot to look back and celebrate. I just, you know, as much as he did, and he was pivotal in those years, and I was growing up watching it and just getting into working in sports journalism at the time. But there's some things that have been maybe forgotten by some people. You know, the way he went out, it wasn't great. It wasn't.
So you're still a bit hurt.
I don't know that it's about hurt. It's just about there's certain things that happened that maybe everybody should just forget about. And but it's always going to be part of the debate when he gets recognized, because on the one hand, he absolutely, I agree with Greivis and other people have said it, he put basketball on the map in Toronto without question. But you know, there were some other things. He got moved out. They traded him to a rival. He came back in the playoffs, beat the Raptors in a playoff year. So it's tough.
According to Dan Glavin, the race years 2000 and 2001. All right, now let's move on. Okay, the Toronto Raptors had a huge game. When you talk about huge games, it doesn't get any better than the #1 team in the East, the #1 team in the West, as they claim. Going head to head, you guys pulled out an amazing win. Shouts out to Chuck Hayes for bodying up.
For sure.
But now here's the question I have for you guys: how do you temper the expectations of fans? Because I mean, it's early in the season. You guys are sitting at the top spot, but you know this is an 82-game journey, and people are very excited to see you in first place. But that might not last all year.
That's why we have a good team. You know, and we're trying to become great.
Yeah.
And it all starts in the locker room. You have to be like this.
Together.
You have to be together.
Got to be together.
And then that's an important factor. I mean, it could be anybody's night.
Yep.
You know, to me, we have 2 starting teams. You know, the guys are coming off the bench. We bringing it. You know, we got Lou Williams that can score. James Johnson can do it defensively. You know, we got guys like Patrick Patterson, Tyler Hansberg. I mean, we had a really deep squad. And then I know the expectations are high, but you know, we got to be the one slowing people down.
Yes.
You know, I know the city is super excited, people. Everybody's like, oh, the Raptors never been like this, huh? But we know what's going on. We really know what's going on because it's a long season.
Yes.
And anything can happen. And for us, we just got to maintain this attitude where we have to be humble and hungry. You know what I mean? Like, we haven't really done anything. We first right now, but we're trying to go to a conference finals. Yeah. So we have to play every night like we playing in the conference finals. We got to simulate that because that's where we want to be at. We don't just want to get in the playoff, get the whole city excited, and be the first
You sound a bit like your coach. So many of these things are what Coach Casey says, and we see it every day.
They're rubbing off. It's rubbing off.
It's 100%.
That's why he's preaching. That's why he's preaching.
It's so crystal clear that everyone's on the same.
And you guys are taking it. Listen, we still have way more to break down. I mean, you talk about conference finals. Another team that they expect to see in the conference finals, the Cleveland Cavs. We got to talk big game hunting. Your boy LeBron James had a big opportunity to go up against the San Antonio Spurs, the same team that took out his Miami Heat last year in Game 7 of the Finals. What happened this time? You'll find out on this side of the break. This is The Hangout.